Hello everyone, so we are from Group 7 would like to present about our project which is about social inclusion and our theme is public transportation and disabilities. Before going further, let me introduce the member of our group. The first one is Ade Rahmat Prasojo and then Mutia Saidea, Restu Mahadewi, Siti Jasmine Kadania, and me Siwi Maulidia Handayani. Next please. Okay, so first let us discuss why we choose this theme. The first one is because we see that people with disability usually still got a bad judgment from society, which is they cannot do nothing. And the second one is we would like to understand the point of view from people with disabilities in related topic with public transportation area. And the last one, we would like to create a campaign to vanish the gap between people with disabilities and non-disabilities. The next part will be explained by Siti Jasmine Kadania.
This part, I will explain about the problem that's often facing by disabilities. Even though in the several public spaces or public facilities, the needs of persons with disabilities have been considered, it turns out that not all of these are found in the public transportation. The first problem is connection bridge to the bus stop in the form of stairs. According to Rakyat Merdeka, currently not all Transjakarta infrastructure is safe for people with disabilities. For example, at the Transjakarta bus stop, there are still many pedestrian bridge access to the bus stop in the form of stairs. It makes impossible for wheelchair users to use them. The second is there is no accessible toilet for disabilities. According to CNN Indonesia, for the long trip, like using train, there are no accessible toilet for the people with the disabilities. So before the trip, they decided to have to go to the bedroom first, and they choose not to drink during the trip. And the last is the distance between the platform and the bus are sometimes far. This makes it harder for the people with disabilities to get on the bus. For the example, this was a bad experience for the people that I interviewed. He had fallen because of the gap between the platform and the bus is too far, and he took a wrong step and suddenly he fell to the ground. The next slide will be explained by Dea.
So, the next part is about government effort to include friends with disabilities on public transportation. First is about the KRL Care Program. Based on Media Indonesia and KRL website, said that the government has prepared this program at the beginning of 2020. This program used when the disabilities people want to go to the station. They can take advantages of the special service for disabilities at this phone number that already attached in the slide, which can be contacted via telephone, messages, and WhatsApp service. Before traveling using KRL commuter line, service user with disabilities can call the telephone number and inform the estimated time of arrival at the departure stations. Furthermore, officers at the departure stations will coordinate with the officers inside the KRL and officers at the destination station. Officers will assist users with disabilities when they arrive at the destination station and also deliver them until the users want to go to the next transportation. And the second is about the improvement of facilities in public transportation based on Kementerian Perhubungan Republik Indonesia. The government invites disabilities to certain directly what facilities need to be improved. Based on the experience of disability, they state that the following facilities need to be improved. It is including the availability of toilets for people with wheelchair, a guiding block that function as a guide for the visual impaired, a ramp that function as a replacement for stairs, priority seats, and as well as information via voice and visual on the train and at the stations. Next. For friends with disability who have walking problems, so they have to use wheelchair, now there is a solution if they want to travel short distance using motorbike. There is already a public vehicle called Diva Bike, which is specially made for wheelchair users. There are three ways to take advantages of the Diva Bike service. First, order through the default bike application, which is downloaded on the Play Store. Second, ordering through default bike Instagram social media on the @Facilitator account. Third, through hotline service. And the next part will be explained by Ade.
Okay, so we were having an interview with the disability people who got blind in order to know the point of view and his testimony about using a public transportation as a disability. Let me tell you more about this type of disabilities, okay? Blindness is one of the disabilities where a person has an inability to see. It happens because of certain reason, for example, age, congenital, disease, and injuries. There are several types of blindness according to the ability on how a person sees an object. A completely blind means that a person cannot see anything at all. Partially sighted means a person is losing half of the ability to see. The person still can see, but it seems blurry or not clear for a certain distance. The last one is low vision, where a person is having difficulty to see something, but they can follow any other normal activities. Our interviewee is having blindness or tunanetra as low vision. He still can do a lot of activities, including using public transportation by himself. Let's move to the next slide to know more about our interviewee.
As Ade already mentioned before, our interviewee has a low vision blind. He is Ahmad Taufik Zulfikri, or people usually call him as Mas Taufik. Mas Taufik is a freshman student from Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta. He is also a freelance MC, like on the picture that we already attached on the right side, and also one of the members of Pandulisane. Pandulisane itself is a non-government organization that the purpose of the organization is to reduce the gap between the non-disabilities and disability people. Mas Taufik is used to be a non-disability person and live like any other normal people. However, because of the disease where there is a blood vessel disorder in his brains that causing a forming of clot or lump that press his eyes nerves and make his eyes nerves broken, he becomes low vision blind. Then, why we choose Mas Taufik as our interviewee? It is all because he used public transportation all the time, and our group topic is public transportation and disability. That is why Mas Taufik very suitable to become our interviewee. There are a lot of information and experience that we can get from him. Hope you guys can get some lesson after watching this video. Happy watching!
Ahmad Taufik Zulkifli, or Taufik, is a university student and a freelance MC. He got blind from 5 years ago because of a blood vessel disorder on his brain. He uses public transportation wherever he wants to go somewhere every day. Like any other people who live in Jakarta, he uses electric rail train or KRL, MRT, and Transjakarta bus. Sometimes he experiences some difficulties when using this facility, especially Transjakarta bus.
Kalau pengalaman nih baik apa atau yang buruk nih?
Ya boleh dua-duanya mas.
Dua-duanya.
Dua-duanya, Mas.
Siap. Ya sebelumnya sudah sangat berterima kasih dan bersyukur banget dengan perbaikan-perbaikan yang ada di transport umum ya, kereta, busway dan lain-lain gitu. Jadi sudah sangat terbantu dengan pelayanan-pelayanan yang ada seperti kereta KRL sekarang kan ada kalau nggak salah per awal tahun ini 2020 diadakan layanan KRL Care kalau nggak salah. Jadi untuk disabilitas ketika mau ke stasiun, WA dulu ke call centernya. Jadi ketika ini nyampe di stasiun udah ditungguin di pintu gerbang dan didampingin sampai naik kereta, sampai di tujuan naik Grab ibaratnya baru ditinggal sama petugasnya. Itu kalau kereta. Dan kalau yang lain-lain yang busway dan MRT udah top banget sih kalau MRT ya, aksesibilitasnya, akses mobilitasnya udah bagus banget, dan busway juga udah bagus sih semuanya. Kalau dibilang pengalaman buruk, apa ya? Paling dari lingkungan sosialnya aja sih yang masih belum aware lah terhadap disabilitas yang ada di sekitar mereka gitu. Dan harus kita sebagai disabilitas yang menyampaikan ke mereka bahwa ini saya butuh bantuan gitu. Bukan berarti mereka langsung sigap untuk membantu. Itu sih paling hambatannya di transport publik tuh, lingkungan sosialnya aja masih belum. Sejauh ini sudah memadai, tapi terutama untuk busway ya, Transjakarta menurut aku terkadang masih agak ini. Jadi kan kalau busway itu kan dari bus ke peron kan kadang jauh kadang dekat, tergantung busnya nih parkirnya di mana, ya kan? Dari antara bus sama Transjakarta ke peron. Nah terkadang itu lebar banget jaraknya, jadi saya ada pengalaman, saya pernah jatuh di busway dari antara mau naik dari peron mau naik ke busway karena terlalu jauh, jadi saya ngelangkah, itu juga udah ngelangkah jauh tapi ternyata masih kurang jauh, ya udah saya jatuh jeblos ke bawah. Itu sih yang kalau dari busway terutama yang masih harus dipertimbangkan, mungkin SOP berhentinya busway di peron kali ya, di halte, karena jaraknya kadang jauh banget gitu. Itu paling. Kalau kereta udah bagus, MRT udah ini juga, MRT paling top deh kalau MRT, kalau transport publik itu. Banyak kejadian kayak gitu, jadi banyak yang tetap cuek walaupun ada disabilitas di situ. Itu banyak sih, masih banyak terjadi ya, karena ya kalau menurut aku pribadi agak susah dihilangkan karena itu dari personal orangnya masing-masing ya. Dia udah aware belum terhadap disabilitas atau ibu hamil yang harusnya duduk di situ gitu kan, karena dia lebih mementingkan diri sendiri. Itu masih banyak sih kalau yang pura-pura tidur atau apa gitu kan, gitu masih banyak sih kalau yang duduk di kursi disabilitas itu, kecuali dia disuruh sama petugas baru dia mikir. Mungkin kalau kita bicara satu-satu aja ya, kereta dulu misalkan KRL, terkadang itu ketika naik sebenarnya nggak masalah ya, ketika turun dari kereta kan kadang agak agak tinggi tuh dari atas ke bawah kan, dan ya itu dia lagi-lagi lingkungan sosialnya yang terkadang masih kurang mengerti kali ya. Malah saya ketika turun dari kereta saya pelan-pelan dong, tapi dari orang yang di atas kereta malah ngedorong. Mungkin tujuannya ngebantu untuk turun tapi ngedorong, jadi kadang kesandung lah, kadang apa gitu, tapi alhamdulillah nggak sampai jatuh sih. Dan kalau busway Transjakarta ya itu kendalanya di celah antara peron dan busnya sendiri itu kadang dekat kadang jauh gitu, jadi untuk ngelangkah itu agak riskan kadang. Jadi ya itulah gunanya tongkat tunanetra, selain untuk membantu mobilitas, menjadi tolak ukur juga. Jadi sebelum aku naik ke busway, naikin tongkat dulu ke busway, jadi tahu jaraknya semana nih baru ngelangkah. Itu sih paling kalau kendalanya. Kalau di MRT alhamdulillah nggak ada sih. Kalau MRT petugas sampai MRT-nya sendiri aman sih. Kan MRT juga kan rata ya dari peron ke kereta aja itu paling. Oke. Kalau untuk di tempat transport itu paling ini sih lebih ke akses mobilitas teman-teman disabilitas, karena ya saya bukan mau melarang adanya tangga, tapi kalau bisa dikurangi, diganti dengan ramp yang bidang miring itu ya, yang bidang miring itu. Karena itu selain membantu teman-teman daksa atau disabilitas fisik yang pakai kursi roda, membantu kita juga teman-teman netra, jadi nggak naik turun tangga, udah turun aja ke bawah gitu atau naik ke atas gitu kan. Itu sih paling kalau dari struktur ininya ya, bangunan dari transport umum itu paling yang kalau bisa dikembangkan lagi, diperbanyak RAM yang bidang miring itu, dan mungkin kalau bisa ya hampir semua diganti dengan RAM gitu, jangan ada tangga lagi. Seperti di halte-halte busway tertentu kan ada yang naik jembatan, naik JPO tapi nggak pakai tangga, pakainya RAM. Nah, itu ngebantu banget buat teman-teman disabilitas fisik, kursi roda ataupun teman netra, karena kan gampangnya tinggal jalan kan, nggak perlu naik turun tangga. Itu sih paling. Nah, itu sih paling ya, lebih ke kesadarannya lah bahwa ya kita ada gitu, tapi bukan berarti kita mengemis bantuan. Kita hanya ya kita ada bukan untuk dikasihani, tapi lebih ke ingin diakui keberadaannya. Itu aja sih paling kalau untuk teman-teman non disabilitas ya, karena sudah bukan saatnya lagi kita saling saling menjatuhkan. Sekarang kita udah harus saling ya berkolaborasi, bersinergi ya. Gunanya untuk untuk mengubah semua stigma ini menjadi kesetaraan. Itu sih paling. Karena kan stigma disabilitas sampai saat ini masih buruk di mata masyarakat. Disabilitas bisa apa sih? Disabilitas emang kerjanya apa? Tapi kalau mereka tahu, mereka sadar bahwa akan adanya disabilitas, pasti akan terbuka pikiran bahwa ya disabilitas pun bisa melakukan segala hal. Ya dalam tanda kutip ya, kita harus sama-sama saling bersinergi sih, itu sih paling. Jadi lebih ke awareness dan kepedulian satu sama lain, itu aja.